Hi, we're going to talk about a hot topic, struggling to find and retain good people. Now, if you saw my part one, it was on how to hire good people. Now we're going to talk about how to retain them, part two. Okay, so stay tuned. All right, here we are, part two, how to retain good people now that you've hired them. So I thought I would go over 11 strategies that I have written up on how to keep staff loyal to your practice. All right. Maybe you've hired some really cool superstars, but you can destroy them too. And maybe not you, but maybe the other staff. I mean, a practice is filled with people, and it's dealing with other kinds of people walking in all the time during the day while you're treating them. So people are very, very important, and taking care of them once you've got good ones is also very important, because it's too easy to say, I was going to say a rude word, but I'm out of here. I don't like what you just told me to do. So let's look at the things that would keep somebody loyal to you. First of all, you want to get people who have the same purpose as you. You want to give awesome service to your patients. You're passionate about it. It's what you went to school for 4 years to learn how to do. And so it is all about the person. And sometimes you may feel your staff are not all pulling in the same direction as you. And so that's the first key thing that I want to talk about, is outlining the purpose of your practice, getting them to talk about what it means to them and helping them to align with what your purpose is. Because a group has a common purpose, right? If each person, one's here just to make money, one's here because you're her favorite aunt, and this one's here because her mother made her take the job. I mean, where are we going to have a good functional team with those three kinds of people? You're going to have to pull them together and get them all agreeing on the common purpose of the practice. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that on another point. This is how you accomplish getting everybody on the same purpose. Mission statements. These are statements that are incredibly important for navigating everybody into the same direction. Picture a bunch of little sailboats, all going this way, that way, this way, that way. This is your team. So a mission statement pulls everybody in alignment, so we're all going in the same direction. And it's really helpful to put one together in your own mind first, and then get the staff to contribute to it. Because if they make it their own and they have some feeling of ownership, this is going to help you. So it's used by a practice to explain in simple and concise terms the purpose for the practice being there. This is so your patients, your clients, your customers can read it also and agree with it. It has to be something that indicates good things about your practice to your public. So it gives employees purpose and improves engagement in their work, because they can see how their job fits into that overall. We want to give people awesome service every single time. Okay, so then they do their job from that viewpoint, as opposed to, I can't tell you how many people I have phoned, and they pick up the phone and they go, "Hi, Dr. So-and-so's office. Can I help you?" "No, he's not available right now. Do you want to leave a message?" "No." "Okay, good. Bye." It's like, hello, that is so not the purpose of a receptionist greeting people. So you would go over with her, here's the mission statement. Does that give perfect service to that person who called in? So what could we do to change it so it does? Because we want to be in alignment with our purpose. Like, you can actually use this now to correct people. And in getting them to contribute, it actually encourages long-term employee investment in the workplace, because they contributed to it. And it's a focal point, so everybody is aligned in the same direction. All the sailboats are going the same way. So the next thing to talk about is staff wages. And right now we're experiencing a lot of job hopping for staff in order improve their take-home pay because, the cost of everything is going up. We're in a silent recession or whatever you want to call it. So you need to be sensitive to this and take appropriate measures. This does not mean to be the highest paying person around. I have seen doctors paying their staff kind of a little bit above minimum wage, but everybody wants to work there because it's a fantastic place, and they know that if they quit to go and get a higher pay, they might hate their job. So they stay because they love the team and they love you, and so we want to create that kind of atmosphere where you don't have to pay huge amounts of money way above the going rate. Now, sometimes you do. There's certain positions, like for dentists right now, hygienists, you need to pay what you need to pay to get one. But a good one isn't going to charge you an arm and a leg. They're going to be realistic. So, but if you hear that the corporations that are buying up, staff out of practices are recruiting at a certain wage rate, you might want to pay just a little bit more than that to make sure that they stay with you. And how you can tell what's fair, there's a Glassdoor, and there's another place you can go to where you can actually find out what the going rates for certain positions in your area, which is very cool. Oh yeah, the other one's called Pay Scale. So it's Glassdoor and Pay Scale. And that can help you figure out what's the right wage to pay, taking also into consideration years of experience and training and what schooling they had. Okay, then you want to work out bonuses. If you work harder and smarter as the owner of a business, if you're working harder and smarter, you make more money. If the staff work harder and smarter, you make more money. And they don't. They get a salary. So that's hardly fair. And so we always like to institute the appropriate bonus. Every practice is a little bit different. There's no one answer to it where one size fits all, unfortunately, on that. And but definitely bonuses really help staff produce more. For instance, we have a client, I think in Montreal, and she has amazing staff, and she's an amazingly good boss now because we trained her to be so. And our consultant said, you should put in a bonus system now. And she said, why? They give me 110% of their effort right now. And he said, well, why don't we try it for 1 month and see how it goes? He's a very patient person. And so she did. At the end of the month, she called him and she said, can't believe it. Can't believe it. They give me 150% of their effort, and we are doing fantastically better from that. So thank you. And I'm keeping it in. Okay. So that's a lesson learned. Benefits. These are all the tips on how to retain good people, remember. So having a benefit package, a lot of doctors provide the service, whatever service you're delivering in your practice, whether you're an optometrist or a foot doctor or a physiotherapist, chiropractor, dentist, optometrist, whatever profession you are, you could provide that service to your own staff, and sometimes their family as well, as long as it's not like 25 people considered family, just husband, wife, and their kids. You could provide medical insurance. A number of our clients do it differently. They tell each employee you have $2,000 a year to cover as needed any medical service, like whatever you're not delivering, they have to go and get, like maybe they need massage therapy or physiotherapy or, orthotics for their shoes or something like that. They can bring in invoices for up to $2,000 for the year. If they didn't use all of it, it doesn't carry over, okay? And you will find that most people do not use that much, but it's better than paying an insurance company, and that insurance company is between you and the doctor they're going to or the provider they're going to, so you're paying somebody in between. So why not just pay it directly to the provider, and you will not have to spend extra money on an insurance company being in between you. Just a tip. Career pathing. Here's another thing that helps you retain really good staff, because if you got good staff, they show initiative, they want to grow, they're ambitious. This is a good thing. This is who you're looking for. So this makes them a superstar, but they want to have ongoing personal and professional growth. In fact, that's how you know who they are when they say that. And so a benefit that you can offer them is courses, webinars, conferences you can take them to, anything to keep them up to date and advancing in their profession. All right, team spirit. So this is comprised of feelings of camaraderie among the members of a group. I'm just going to define this, enabling them to cooperate and work well together. So it's the feeling that you have as a team of pride and loyalty about what you're doing and how you're being the best that can be for somebody who's walking into your practice. And you still need to see them as individuals, but you need to do teamwork with them, team meetings, and so on. So always be working on team spirit. Next one is weekly staff meetings where you go over things, have them bring a little notepad and pencil or pen, and they should make notes, and they should bring topics that could be discussed on how to be more efficient at this or that position in the practice. Encourage this. You can do monthly bigger meeting where it can be a planning session for the future where you want to go and get everybody's input on it. That's really fun, actually. The next one is team togetherness. And you can have like family picnics in the summertime. You could do volunteer work for Kidney Foundation or cancer, riding for cancer. Somebody I know is riding a bike 200 kilometers to raise money, and he's looking for donors and sponsors. And that's an awesome thing to do. There are team sports. I know some practices have enough staff that they have a baseball team, and they find another practice that has enough, and they get their shirts made and they have their weekly game, and it's fun. You can go for drinks after work. You could have potluck lunches at the office or potluck dinner. It depends whether you have staff that have a lot of kids and they need to run home after work. But yeah, so look for things that pull the team together and give them united purpose and some fun together where they create and they're planning it and so on. The next one is showing your team your appreciation. So you could have an employee appreciation day where at the staff meeting, you write down beforehand the best characteristics of each of the staff members that you have. Make sure you make a nice little list equal in size to all of them, each one of them, and give them a little plant for to take home, or a little bouquet of flowers, or I don't know, a Tim Hortons $25 card or something like that, just as an appreciation day. You can do this once a month, or you can do it once a year. On a daily basis, you should find opportunities to thank your staff for being there as a team and doing good and helping the patients have ideal care. So there's a lot of ways to say thank you. You can print off a template off of Word that says certificate of appreciation, and you put their name down and what they're being appreciated for. And it's got a nice big red bow printed on it. And, like things like that really, really make a difference. So I think that's enough. That was a bunch of ideas for you on how to retain good staff. Use your imagination. There's a lot more ways than that. Listen, 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 and ask AI. Ask AI. I haven't looked lately. I should see what it says now for ways to retain good staff. But don't get into scary, stupid stuff and feel like y'all have to go to a retreat and spend millions of dollars. However, one of my clients recently told me she made a target for her two practices. She has two, one smaller, one's twice as big. So she told both teams, make your target for the year, and I will take you to Jamaica along with your spouse for a week. Not your kids, just your spouse. And so they fought hard, and the small one made their target. And they're in Jamaica right now as we speak. The other team are going to really work hard next year because they didn't quite make it. And so, that can be a lot of fun. and by having a big prize like that. So yeah, so lots of how to retain good people. So there you go. Stay tuned, follow us, give us a like, and watch for more good stuff.